Vice Admiral Sinha, you know what General Hasnain has also mentioned here. Very often we forget that because this was a war that was won in 13 days. It wasn't essentially smooth sailing. You know, there are so many challenges that we don't talk about. Whether it's about the fact that, you know, in 1971 there was such basic tech, and then to ensure and seal such a strategic win despite those kind of challenges, as you mentioned, to keep the utmost secrecy in this kind of an operation as well.
Well, you very rightly said, both General Hasnain and Gaurav have given you the summary of this entire thing. We have had a number of Pakistani Air Force and Pakistani Navy officers and some of the men who were actually belonging to Bangladesh. They had defected and they had come to India through very different and treacherous routes. And one of them that I recall, a submariner, he gave us a lot of input on how the submarine operation takes place. And, you know, the whole gamut of submarine operation and anti-submarine warfare. And that really helped us in operating in the East Coast and also on the West Coast. Though, of course, we lost one ship. But it, you know, it also told us that, you know, what kind of equipment do we need to track those submarines, and that has developed over a period of time. So I think it was a big help at that time. And as rightly said, that Mukti Wahini and the Indian Armed Forces, they have fought shoulder to shoulder, and their presence in every meaning, you know, whether they are army or whether they are naval people or air force, they were a big help in achieving what we achieved in 13 days.
You know, what really sticks out to me, Gaurav, and this is something that we touched upon earlier also, the aftermath of this war. You had 93,000 Pakistani troops surrendering to India, including, of course, General Niazi signing that instrument of surrender. And the way the Indian Army handled it, what immediately came to my mind was the contrast of what happened with Wing Commander, now Group Captain Abhinandan Vardhaman, how Pakistan handled that. And it's such a clear contrast, you know, how the militaries function.
Oh, absolutely. And what a parallel. I'll just take you back to a news report from 1971 that said that Lieutenant General A.A.K. Niazi, when he reached and signed the instrument of surrender, he took off his Sam Brown and belt, he took off his sidearm, he signed the instrument of in surrender, and then he started crying. He broke down. He was in tears. He started crying, and after that, the moment Mukti Jodhas saw the people of Bangladesh and it was happening in full public view, they said, "Arey, ye to Niazi hai," and they charged to attack him. It's the Indian Army that took him to safety, took him to a cantonment, and then got the entire East Pakistan Army safely into India. Had they remained in Bangladesh, they would have been lynched, they would have been killed. The amount of torture, the amount of rape and plunder, the genocide that they had carried out in Bangladesh, the people of Bangladesh would have killed them. Indian Army saved them.
And there's perhaps no more telling stories when you compare what happened in 1971 to all that's happened in the years thereafter, of the difference between the military standards we uphold, the mannerisms, the obedience and dignity that we uphold versus the Pakistan military. I just want to quickly take this across to Abhishek Bhalla also for a live update on what's happening at the National War Memorial. Abhishek, I can see that Defence Minister Rajnath Singh is also there. Prime Minister Modi is going to be there in about 15 minutes from now. Take us through really the ceremony that's going to play out now at the National War Memorial.
Prime Minister Modi, along with the Defence Minister, will pay homage at the National War Memorial, and this is a tribute not just to the war veterans and those Indian soldiers who sacrificed their lives, but also to the Mukti Jodhas. And Akshita, that's something that India has been recognizing for years, and at the 50th anniversary, their contribution can certainly not be forgotten. There are several Mukti Jodhas, the warriors, who made immense sacrifice in ensuring liberation of then Pakistan, which is now Bangladesh, celebrating its 50 years of independence. There was a flypast that was also planned, but that's been cancelled due to various reasons. Also the fact that, you know, a few days back, there was an unfortunate incident where General Bipin Rawat, along with his wife and other officers in his staff, died in a helicopter crash. That's the reason why, you know, the celebrations have been toned down. But in the run-up to today's event, there was also a big display of all the weapons and military platforms that were used by India during the 1971 war, that was open to public at India Gate. And what is most significant is that 4 eternal flames, the 4 victory torches that traveled the length and breadth of the country, from Kanyakumari to Siachen Glacier in the north, to Agartala in the east, from Agartala in the east to Rann of Kutch in the west, and even to the Andaman Islands. All those 4 victory torches will be brought here today, and they will be mingled with the Amar Jawan Jyoti here at the National War Memorial, symbolizing the unity of the country, and also the sacrifices made by not just Indians but also Mukti Yodhas from then East Pakistan.
So there'll be a very, very fitting tribute for the heroes of the 1971 war. Let's cut across live to really what's happening at the National War Memorial briefly. You can see that Defence Minister Rajnath Singh is there. A number of mementos, a number of moments sealed in history, remembering the 1971 war. So as part of that, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh is inaugurating a number of events today with the ceremony. Let's cut across live.
जैसा कि हम आपको बता रहे हैं कि ये न सिर्फ हिंदुस्तान में बल्कि आज ये जश्न एक साथ 2 देशों में मनाया जा रहा है। जी हां, ये स्वर्णिम विजय पर्व आज एक साथ 2 देशों में मनाया जा रहा है। एक तो हमारा प्यारा हिंदुस्तान और दूसरा हमारा पड़ोसी मुल्क बांग्लादेश। और बांग्लादेश में स्वर्णिम विजय पर्व में शामिल होने के लिए वहां के राष्ट्रपति के विशेष आमंत्रण पर हमारे राष्ट्रपति रामनाथ कोविंद बांग्लादेश में इस वक्त मौजूद हैं। वहां भी अब से कुछ ही लम्हों के बाद बहुत ही खास कार्यक्रम शुरू होने वाला है। और यहां आप देख सकते हैं राजधानी दिल्ली में राष्ट्रीय समर स्मारक से ये सीधी तस्वीरें, जहां देश के रक्षा मंत्री
मंडली কুচকাওয়াজের অধিনায়ক মহামান্য রাষ্ট্রপতির কাছ থেকে কুচকাওয়াজ শেষ করার জন্য অনুমতি গ্রহণ করলেন।
Ladies and gentlemen, parade commander took permission from the honorable president to march past the parade.
বিজয় দিবস প্যারেড জলদি গতিতে মার্চ পাস করে প্যারেড শেষ করবে। পতাকাবাহী দল আগে। বিজয় দিবস প্যারেড ডানে ফিরবে, ডানে গোল। জাতীয় পতাকাবাহী দল
Right now, Gaurav, we can see the 4 flames that we were talking about. These 4 flames have travelled across the country. They've been taken to key battle areas, to the homes of some of the veterans and gallantry award winners.
What is extremely significant is the message, the symbolism. These 4 flames actually symbolize the victory of India over Pakistan, and this story is now being taken to this generation and future generations. Also, the stories of unparalleled valor, like General Atta Hasnain and Admiral Sinha were mentioning the way Karachi burned for 11 days, the Tangel airdrop, unprecedented in history, the crossing of Meghna River, the river in some places between 5 and 9 kilometers wide. You had tanks crossing the river. Tangel drop, you had the 2nd Battalion of the Parachute Regiment. So 2 para did an airdrop. You had the Jangi Paltan, 1 Maratha Light Infantry that actually was to link up. How they linked up in the face Every battle of 1971, you talk about Basantar on the west, you talk about Battle of Longewala, immortalized in that movie Border, you talk about Garipur, Hilli, Tangel, Meghna River crossing. Every battle shows unparalleled valor, and those tales are now being taken to the next generation, Akshata.
So those four flames, which Gaurav was just explaining also for you, the significance of that, in a very telling moment and in a very fitting tribute, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to be there in a few moments from now, which is when all the four flames will be merged with the eternal flame at the National War Memorial. So you see that all the preparations are in place. Rajnath Singh, the Defence Minister, is also present there for the ceremony. In just about 6 minutes from now, we're expecting that Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also be there, and these flames will be brought together and then will be merged with the eternal flame at the National War Memorial. A very, very telling tribute of how 50 years since the day that Pakistan was forced to surrender to the Indian Army, we still keep those memories alive. We still have lessons to learn, General Hasnain, from that victory, from the 1971 war.
वो जो महज 5 लड़ाइयां लड़ी गई भारत और पाकिस्तान के बीच में,
ये event was a continuum of sheer valor. We, of course, had prepared extremely well. 9 months of preparation had gone into it. Tremendous amount of strategic planning had gone into it. Operational art was there for everyone to on display to see. But ultimately, at the executive end, when it came down to the execution in 13 days, every area, every sector, sub-sector, saw valor of its own kind. You saw, for example, on the Western Front, you saw the Battle of Longewala, which has been, of course, captured so beautifully in the film Border. The leadership of Major Chandpuri, Kuldeep Chandpuri, who later on became a brigadier, 23 Punjab's action there. The fantastic battle in Shakkargarh, where 2nd Lieutenant Arun Khetrapal, just with 5 months of service at that particular time, refused to withdraw when his tank had been hit. He knew that he was a sure shot kill, but he continued to battle it out and actually destroyed 4 tanks in the process. Similar stories of Major Hoshiar Singh, Paramveer Chakra, Nirmaljit Singh Sekhon, and people like that. They abound everywhere. The one thing that we need to do, and we must, I'm sure we will do, the government of India will take this into consideration, is that we must bring these stories in different ways to the people of India. It's already being done in a huge way. Let's also include it perhaps through the medium of competitive examinations, so that people who are going to come and join government service are well aware of the kind of dedication and sacrifice that our Yodhas have put in to bring India this glory.
Oh, absolutely. And General, if I may, here at India Today and Aaj Tak, we are recounting those tales of valor, not just of the Paramveer Chakra awardees, but some of these greatest battles. I mean, they may not have got the Paramveer Chakra, but unparalleled valor, including the Tangel drop, the battle for Hilli, Bogra, the battle of Garipur, Longewala, as you very rightly pointed out, battle of Basantar, the Shakkargarh Bulge battle. We are recounting all these battles. We are recounting air wars. We are recounting the sinking of PNS Ghazi, Admiral Sinha, and also the fact that Indian Navy had blockaded Karachi, and Karachi burned for 11 days, a lesson that Pakistan will never forget, Admiral Sinha.
Yeah, absolutely right, Gaurav. I think we need to go back in time and just realize that on night of 3rd December, early morning 4th December, if Karachi was set ablaze by the missile boats, and similarly the hunters from 20 Squadron had attacked a large number of airfields in very silent hours, that really gave a lot of confidence to our army to move into the western sector, because it was not sort of easy run. They had this issue of the morale was a little bit down because of these damages. Similarly, if you go to the east coast in Bay of Bengal, Gaurav, you will find that the maritime air power was used to sort of full extent, and Navy actually fought a real two-front war simultaneously at that time. Navy always had a two-front, Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal. So Bay of Bengal front was really, really very hectic. Repeated attack on the harbors, repeated attack on the coastal airfields. it really broke the back of the East Pakistani soldiers and the general. It left no room for any logistic supply to come from anywhere else and get into Bangladesh. There was no other route, no Bangladesh. Similarly, as I said that, there are stories of valor. One of the ships got hit and the commanding officer refused to jump out of the ship because he said, no, I will be the last one to go. And he sank with the ship in the best traditions of the Navy.
Even as all of you are recounting all of these stories that really tell you about what a significant win this was for India in the 1971 war, what also stands out to me, Gaurav, is the fact that this kind of a victory came despite the fact that Pakistan had ammunition support from the United States.
They had ammunition support. They had the American Navy. Their fleet came and stood in the Bay of Bengal or the Indian Ocean region at that point of time. Those were tactics where they were trying to intimidate India. But this is the combined national power of India coming together. So you had Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, late Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, who had signed an agreement with then Soviet Union, saying an attack on India would be, that peace and friendship treaty. An attack on India would be an attack on Soviet Union. So Pakistan desperately went to China for help. And Pakistan cried. Pakistan went to the United Nations and cried. Pakistan cried in front of the United States of America. The Soviets had two divisions on the China, Soviet Union, then Soviet Union border, so that China would not do anything along the India-China line of actual control. So this was a very well-planned offensive, an operation, but we had 9 months to prepare for it. Future wars, we will not have 9 months to prepare, and that's the point that all military commanders make at all times. I'd spoken to both, late General Bipin Rawat about this, and also recently General Manoj Mukund Narvane. He talked about it. In future, we will not have 9 months to prepare for combat.
And that's such a lesson, really, that perhaps we will always remember. Something that, as you mentioned, Gaurav, our forces keep reiterating. And there will be, of course, a lot of debate on this, whether our political leadership listens enough to that as well. Joining us on this broadcast, we also have Air Marshal V.K. Bhatia with us. Good morning, Air Marshal V.K. Bhatia. Gaurav has been telling me all about your credentials. He's been very excited to have you on this broadcast. So, Gaurav, I'm going to let you get opening comments also from Air Marshal Bhatia.
A war hero, Veer Chakra in the 65 war, Veer Chakra in the 71 war. Air Marshal Jimmy Bhatia, as always, a pleasure having you on the broadcast. Air Marshal Bhatia, one of the biggest lessons was the use of air power in 1971. Offensive role, defensive role, troop transportation, Tangale drop, helicopters. Sir, what stands out for you?
Yes, indeed. I think it was a fantastic use of air power during the 1971 war, both on the Eastern Front and on the Western Front. And as you very rightly said, Gaurav, that all facets of air power were used copiously, be it transport support, whether it was the fighters, the counter-air, the interdiction, the close air support, air defense, you name it, everything was done in a fantastic pre-planned manner. And that was the reason why in the East, we were able to actually carry out a blitzkrieg, because the great strategist that Air Chief Marshal P.C. Lal was, he had read the whole situation very well. And what he wanted to do was to overwhelm the Pakistani Air Force in the East. And that is why he pitched in 11 squadrons of fighters and bombers against the sole Sabre Squadron in East Pakistan, and was able to achieve air supremacy within the first 48 hours to 72 hours. And after that, the army was free to go and operate without fearing anything from the air. And as you very rightly said, there were historical feats which were created, whether it was the heli bridging of the Meghna and Surma rivers, and that permitted the dashing 4-Corps commander, General Sagat Singh, to move his forces quickly across these two mighty rivers and threaten Dhaka.
And then, of course, Bhatia, my sincere apologies for interrupting, and we'll keep coming across to you.